at the end of the day, there's certain things in life that, I'm sorry, but unless you look at it from a real perspective, take it out of your head that, oh, it's life, it's reality. I'm sorry, no. Everybody makes their life the way it is. You make your life the way it is, I make my life the way it is. As messed up as that sounds, it's the truth, right? Because if we wanted a better life, and you really wanted a better life, we would do like what everybody else out there who's living the better life is doing. Go out there and bust their balls, and make sure that no matter what your wife said, no matter what your kids said, you are not going to stop till you get that better life.
You got to be careful though, right? Because the reality of our situation is that the reason why those people have a better life is because they understand the scam.
And at the end of the day,
and when you understand the scam, you can take advantage of everybody else that does not.
Well, how are they privy to that kind of information? I'm not. That is where I lose.
Simple, right? Our educational system took this information out a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right, and they prevented us from understanding our monetary system a long time ago, so that only people who actually did the work went and said, well, wait a minute, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense to our current paper money system, and went and found their own information. Did they actually go, okay, well, this is not right. Some people said this is not right and wrote books and tried to stop it, and others just said, okay, well, I'm just going to use it to my advantage. So you have to decide on where you want to go when it comes to this. When you understand the system, you'll understand that two things. Most people, 90% or even 99% of the population does not understand this system.
Well, I'll say this.
And those 1% that are making billions, they understand and they're using it to their advantage.
No, but I'll say this. You know where society says it takes money to make money? I'll say this. Is it worth going into debt just a little bit to make a lot more money? Or at the end of the day, am I just playing into that system that we were talking about earlier, where all they're doing is printing me that money that I'm asking for and throwing my future in the hole today?
Yeah, here's the thing.
Is it really worth going into debt to make any money at all? Or?
Yeah, here's the thing, right? If you want to be a part of the scam, here's how you do it. And I'm going to explain how you do it. One, you open up a corporation. The corporation is a separate entity from yourself. The corporation, because it's a separate entity from yourself, it can go into debt itself. And if it fails, and you're okay. If it fails, your income, your house, your everything that you have that you did not go into debt to buy is good and golden. They cannot take it or touch it. Now, that is the scam. I hope that my viewers do not take that information.
Thank you. You can sit beside me
and use it. Right? But that's how it works.
But it is. No, you are right. It is. And at the end of the day, you are right. I'm not going to sit here and say you're not. But how is it that we as, I'm going to say laymen, because at the end of the day, that's just, we are what they consider in society the simpletons, because we're not millionaires and we're not billionaires. We don't have the kind of money that the bank wants to throw shit at us. You know, they don't want to throw stuff at us. And it's not that you're in a bad situation. I'm not in a bad situation. Yeah, I'm not making the most money in the world, but guess what? I'm also not in a bad situation. Right? I'm not on welfare. I'm not one of those kind of people. So for the bank to look at somebody who has, I don't know, $5 or $6 million in the bank and say, oh, there's this company that's blah, 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 blah. They're about to go public. Would you like to invest your money?
Those people get scammed.
Is that also a part of that scam?
Yes. Those people get scammed. If you use your paper tickets because the banks realize you've got all these paper tickets and they want to move the money in a circle.
Yes,
they want to keep it moving.
Yes.
Keep it moving. Keep it growing and keep it going higher, increasing the amount of money. So they'll give you some bullshit scam kind of investment, which they've done to cities, municipalities, and everybody, anyone who has any paper tickets in their friggin' bank account, to get them to move their money. And if that scam is part of like the derivatives market. Did you know the derivatives market is at 1.5 quadrillion dollars?
What?
1.5 quadrillion dollars.
I got them mixed up.
That is fictitious money, because what it is a derivative is a very complicated system. But the easiest way that I could explain it to you is if you were to go to the bank and say, I want to buy some gold and silver, and the first thing the bank will tell you is, we'll hook you up. We got these gold and silver certificates.
See it?
Right? We'll let you buy that. Those certificates are not backed up by gold and silver. That is a derivative, because the bank is taking a bet that gold and silver will go down, and you're taking a bet that gold and silver will go up. And no physical gold and silver is ever touched.
It hasn't been.
And
they
that
haven't even looked at gold and silver.
that is a simpler example of derivative. And that is what the banks will get you to do if you've got $6 million.
That helps.
And they'll keep showing you, look at how much money it just keeps growing. Look at this, because they're moving it around, increasing the number of dollars out there, moving it around, keep it increasing. Look, you're getting richer. Oh my God, look at that. That's why $1.6 quadrillion of derivatives are out there. So that all those people with those millions of paper tickets can feel that they're richer.
But it's true though. No,
Yeah.
it is. No,
So-
I understand exactly where you're coming from, and I don't know why I'm not even into this kind of thing, because I just hate the fact that, in my eyes, the way I look at
We
it
might
is
have too much.
the government of whatever country you're in. I don't care if you're here in Canada, United States, if you're in Jamaica, if you're in the United Kingdom, whatever continent you can place yourself. The government of 99.9% of the
And
countries
they're
out
almost all
there
gone.
take advantage of the people in that country because of the
Yes.
fact that they have these things going on. And if you were to sit down, if you and I were to sit down,
now, baby.
and
I'll
we were
get
to
you a
think
new
of a
one.
scheme
This one here.
that could make us
Okay.
as much money
Yeah,
that they
that
are
one's
making
yucky, love.
on a
Just
hourly
throw it on the
basis.
grass.
Not even a daily basis,
Trinity,
but an
just throw
hourly
it on the
basis.
grass,
If
baby.
you and I,
It's yucky.
as a normal man,
Everybody's
were
so
sit down and think of a scheme like that, they would lock us up for a very, very long time. And you know what I'm talking about. Because in their eyes, that kind of nonsense is illegal.
It is.
Okay.
The way our system is, it is illegal.
But then they turn around and they do it to us. And then they try and put...
But all they did was
Try
just
and
make
put
it a
it
law,
off.
make it a law making it legal. That's all they did, right? I mean, if you look at the United States highest law states that only gold and silver should be money. It is against the law for them to be trading paper tickets around.
So what? That's what I mean. But nobody's getting locked up for it. Me and you were to do something even remotely close to what they're doing, just remotely close, not even exactly on point.
Yes.
Just remotely close to what they're doing. And I'm not lying to you, we would be locked up. And we would not be seeing the light of day for a very long time.
Not necessarily, because people tried to do this on the internet with
That's how Enron came about. Come on.
people tried. Yeah, well, Enron did it with derivatives, and they didn't quite. Their particular small derivative market collapsed on them. That's what happened to Enron, and then they tried to move a lot of their money off to smaller companies and stuff like that. Enron is a really complicated case.
It is. It really is. But think about it. What they did was they took what the government's doing and they tried to
do it in their micro little universe.
Thank you.
Right? And it didn't work out.
It didn't, because on a micro scale, what the government's doing won't work. And it probably will for, how long was Enron around? I don't know, 12 years or something stupid. Okay? It'll probably work for a while. But what the government's doing, in order for it to actually work and make any sort of sense, they have to do it on a mega scale. And we are the pawns in that game that they're playing.
All right, let me just edit this video. Okay, well, this was just a little conversation with some friends of mine. I just wanted to share with you guys, and thanks for watching my video.
And cut.
Here you go.
You're joking, right? What's this?
Your payment.
I don't think so. This is what I'm looking for.
Gold and silver is money and nothing else.